Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
I just thought about doing the darndest thing to you right now. I am so awful. Hello, Energy Arts. I don't have these ornery thoughts go through my head like ever, but I was going to trick him and I wasn't even sure what I was going to do. But anyhow.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you got me.
Yeah, I know. You have it coming somehow.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
This was real fun. This was a Patreon exclusive from a couple days ago, 2 days ago. Finally revealed who were the Tartarians and what happened to them. Oh, yeah, good stuff. The type of stuff that really you only see here. As far as I know, I've never heard of anybody that shared what we shared in that particular video. Here is a guy that I gotta say I'm a big fan of, and this is Christoph, the Polish psychic, and he's talking about the biggest events of 2025. And this is a bold one right here. 2025 will be the end of real money. Yeah, multiple times now he's gotten visions where he is convinced that 2025 is the year. It's the year that the money system changes. And looking back to the visions that he had going back to 2 or 3 years ago, and this is what happens. We start to, get new information on stuff we've seen in the past, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, this would make sense with that then, and you can start to see the way things are going. I do think we are in a new timeline. Again, timelines are always shifting. As much as anybody in the control structure wants to get across that you can't change things, well, you can. We all can, and we all do.
Co-creators.
Yeah, that's the whole thing here. It's not just the end of real money that he's seeing. He is seeing two nations in the Middle East declaring war on Israel, but not necessarily attacking Israel right off. He also sees the U.S. kind of moving away from Ukraine, which we can see happening right now, and literally kind of leaving Europe to fend for itself for the most part. And, it's going to be a tough year. There's going to be a lot of challenges, and perhaps the thing that would be most disconcerting is that he's seeing there's going to be a time when people won't be able to get inside their bank accounts. And, this is going to have to do with the currency reset, so to speak, which it feels like he's still up in the air as to who is going to come out with the upper hand. But I think he's leaning towards the U.S. having the upper hand, and it's going to be a gold-backed currency. And what he was picking up was that the system that they're going to put in place, the currency of each individual nation is going to be relative to the amount of gold reserves that nation has. And, I should have actually looked up and seen what the gold reserves are. Can you search maybe on one of these to find what are top nations with gold reserves? So it would be interesting, but it's all going to be based on gold. And the nation that kind of beats the others to the punch is going to be the one that comes out on top. Now, he does see the U.S. actually being the nation that triggers the financial collapse, and he thinks it's going to be done purposely, the U.S. triggering the collapse, which is then going to roll out and affect other nations, because he's got the impression that we are all ready for the new system. And so as of 2024, Cindy just did this, the United States has the largest gold reserves in the world, followed by Germany, Italy, and France. And so this is showing 8,133 tons for the U.S., 3,351 tons for Germany, Italy, 2,451 tons, France, 2,436 tons, India, it doesn't give the actual numbers for India, Russia, 1,298 tons, and then China, 1,181 tons. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how this transpires. But I do hold him in high regard. He's been very, very accurate on a lot of things, including plane crashes and a lot of the different shooting incidents. They actually do use him again to find missing people. He has helped in solving some of Poland's tough missing persons cases. Now, this one, here you go. Let's see if we listen a little bit to what 47 has to say.
In the past, you have spoken against BRICS. India is part of BRICS. Do you want to dismantle BRICS, or US want to be part of it?
I don't care, but BRICS was put there for a bad purpose, and most of those people don't even want to talk about it now. They're afraid to talk about it because I told them if they want to play games with the dollar, then they're going to be hit with a 100% tariff the day they mention that they want to do it. And they will come back and say, we beg you not to do this. BRICS is dead since I mentioned that.
So that's a big statement. And it really does hit me how it so goes with what the Polish psychic is uncovering there. Meanwhile, Dodge uncovered $2.7 trillion in Medicaid, Medicare payments going overseas. 8% of national debt. Who's getting it? Is it all just expats? 2.7 trillion? That doesn't sound like it's all just expats. There's got to be something else there. Watch it make its way into the usual places.
I know. I'll have to kind of watch and see.
Yeah, you got to admit, this is kind of fun, this part of it. Very, very cautious. Because, again, you don't want to really get your hopes too high when it comes to any sort of political entity that's been in this world for a very long time. The IRS is expected to lay off thousands, according to the New York Times. And, as he had said, they're going in there and they're going to see what they see. It's time for an all-new system. But again, if there's going to be a new monetary system, you could fill in the dots there. What do you guys think? New York Governor Kathy Hochul moves to remove and arrest New York City Mayor Eric Adams to prevent him from helping 47 and ICE from their mass deportation operation. It seems like, Mayor Adams was going to spill a lot of beans and they're trying to preempt him. Oh, it's just really rolling now. And here you go. 47 signs executive order cutting off federal funding to schools that, as we used to use the term, dates for men, for that MANDATE thing, the you-know-whaty. Yeah, so, a lot of things are heading in the right direction. I've seen Mark Zuckerberg there with Elon and Trump and Dana White at MMA events, one after another. And, here you see this is saying that Zuckerberg funneled $2 billion in Facebook stock to a foundation that's bankrolling the lawsuits against 47. He better be careful when he goes to the next MMA event if, this starts getting out. Congress admits to the U.S. government's long history of financing Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and Islamic State. Yeah, this is what we were all saying forever, and yet again, you get those little wikis, and, when you give a wiki, it's an admission of guilt. That's what it is. It's saying, you're not supposed to know that.
I know, we see them quite often.
Yeah, well, again, we are not that dumb. Oh, listen to this.
For themselves and their children. And they're smart. I think this is one of the most important things I've learned in my brief time in politics. Contrary to what you might hear a couple mountains over in Davos, the citizens of all of our nations don't generally think of themselves as educated animals or as interchangeable cogs of a global economy. And it's hardly surprising that they don't want to be shuffled about or relentlessly ignored by their leaders. It is the business of democracy to adjudicate these big questions at the ballot box.
So yeah, that was there's a lot of nice things coming out right now. we'll just keep watching closely because it's like you wait for the shoe to drop. Nancy Pelosi does it again. She just made 5 times her annual salary trading a single stock. She bought into Tempest on January 14th, 2025. The stock was at $32 a share. It's at $85 a share, up over 160% in just about 1 month. 5 times her salary in 1 month. Is it really fair that they utilize insider trading? And, again, maybe they'll give a wiki for that, but we all know what she's doing. She has inside information. These people think they're above the law. They think they're better than us. They think we are all just serfs and slaves to be here at their bidding.
I'm still waiting. I know that they think they're above the law, but the problem is so far they've been writing above the law for a very long time. So I see a lot of stuff coming out, but I'm always going to be cautious. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Do they just simply know that people are so frustrated and aggravated of all the lies? They thought, well, we need to give them this other bone here. So I'm just not super excited until I see something actually happen. I'm hopeful.
Yes, me too. And let's actually see it. Like Cindy said, it's like, show me the money.
Yeah, show me the money.
Show me the money. Let's literally see it here. Let's see a reverse Snowden. Let's see, mass arrests, not of innocent people or not of people that are trying to bring truth to others, but of the ones that have been just utilizing their insider information to, basically ride the wave over all of us and, squishing us all beneath their soles of their feet, so to say. Here you can see, and people are watching and understand just the fact that so much of these frequencies that are out there are all about controlling the weather, and usually it seems giving us worse storms and all sorts of extremes. This is a study that basically, again, what does human exposure to all these things that are being painted in that sky lead to? Well, one of them is asthma, and boy, has there been an increase in asthma in, say, the last 20, 30 years. It's become rampant. I know firsthand, as I had fought with my ex-wife against the things that they want kids to have and stuff, and tooth and nail, and we disagreed to the end, but she won out, as I was working 50 to 60 hours a week, and she didn't want to homeschool. So as soon as it happened with my son, right away got sick, and then was childhood asthma. He's had all sorts of issues, allergies. It's just nonstop, and it hasn't stopped, even though I've done my best to, again, tell the family things that I would avoid. Sometimes it falls on deaf ears, and that can be very frustrating.
It really can, because when you look at parents, moms and dads these days, they are doing their absolute best, but you can see how the system is set up for them to fail, because you need 2 incomes. It is so difficult to do homeschooling if you're also working. I mean, it just runs you into the ground. So, having parents at each other, over disagreements like this is also part of the plan. But once we recognize what the plan is, then it's time to say, hey, I'm not going to follow your plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it feels good when my ex, who we knew each other for, 40 years plus, says, you were right. But that's not what you want. You want to avoid the problems. You want to avoid the issues, and you just wish that you could get through to people sometimes. But even our own family, sometimes we can't get through to. Now, this is getting more curious every day. It seems like there's a new revision every day. Scientists pinpoint exactly where the city-destroying asteroid could strike Earth in 2032. Asteroid that would have, they say, maybe 500 Hiroshima's impact. Now, this 2024 YR4 is coming close to the Earth in 2032. Now they're literally saying it should fall somewhere in a narrow band stretching from northern South America across the Pacific to sub-Saharan Africa and into Asia. Worryingly, this path extends over several densely populated regions, including Chennai, India, and Hainan Island in China. Currently, NASA estimates that the asteroid has a 1 in 48. That's nothing to sneeze at. 2.1% chance of colliding with the planet on December 22, 2032. It's about 300 feet, or the size of the Statue of Liberty, could cause devastating damage to any populated area along the corridor, as you see here. If it were to strike, experts suggest it could unleash a blast equal to 8 megatons of TNT, more than 500 times the size of Hiroshima. There was 2 on Hiroshima. Again, the interesting thing is that the guides a long time ago, 4 years ago, I want to say, it was one of the first things that they said. They did tell us there were going to be 3 impacts, 3 major impacts. I think one major impact was going to be in the South Atlantic. I don't know where the other ones were going to be. Interesting to note the coincidence. Now, the other thing is, we got that this is not a piece of rock. This is a ship. In fact, it might sound crazy to those that don't understand the bigger picture, but it's literally a reptilian warship. Now, if you asked me, my opinion would be, if something hits, what is it? Well, it's a weapon being shot from a reptilian warship. That's so it coincides with the arrival of what they say is an asteroid, but the actual thing that hits Earth is literally a weapon.
Right. I mean, is it something that is coming after Earth? I did not get that, but I did get that it is, there's a warring type of energy. You just never know. There are reptilians that are trying to do better. There really are. Maybe they are coming this way to help us in some way, shape, or form. We just don't know. But anything on the media is, they're never going to tell us the truth. But
the reality is, too, not to say every problem is a reptilian problem, but there's absolutely reptilians behind all the problems.
Yes, they're definitely a huge problem. So, I just kind of hold on to the idea that even though the ship is coming our way, maybe it's not about us. It can be about war, but maybe it's about something else. Maybe they are passing by. We don't know, but we do see the storyline from them continues to change.
Yeah, and what we've gotten, and by the way, another article that I didn't include, but you can find it. Scientists have concluded there is another planet out there beyond Neptune and Uranus that they say is at least 10 times the mass of Earth, and is obviously there, definitively there. Now, what we've gotten from the guides is there's literally 39 planets that are in our solar system. Our solar system is much bigger than they tell us, much, much bigger, and it does have a lot of life there.
Mm-hmm. Right, more in the immediate area.
Even in the immediate area, yes. We had gotten, back when we were in New Mexico, that the ant people from the Hopi legends, their home planet is actually just as close as Mars or Venus to us, but it is always blocked up in the sky by a holograph because they don't want us picking up on it. 1984 was a great year. At least I think it was a great year. It was a lot of fun. You could buy one record. Which record would you choose? The Footloose soundtrack, Madonna, Run DMC, Wham, Purple Rain, Big Bear, Doing Things. That one I don't know at all. Ride the Lightning, Metallica, Iron Maiden, or Van Halen. I think 84, is that Van Hager or is that Van Halen at that point in time? I think it was Van Hager, let's say. Well, what would you pick? I'm dying to find out. And, my taste has changed a little bit, but I would still have to go myself with Ride the Lightning and, for the gym.
And I'm just not telling.
Oh, you can't do that.
I'm doing it.
Oh. Welcome to the Gulf of America. Look, your first sign is up. This is in Galveston, Texas. From the Salty Dog, Galveston.
There we go. Here it is.
Welcome to the Gulf of America, kids. They're writing all this story right now down in the Akashic Records. Well, it's getting imprinted in the Akashic Records. So even if we never get the truth from the system, we'll get the truth eventually. That's just a given. And this little guy is saying, hey, that's me. That's me.
He says, hey, this guy looks familiar.
As always, guys, thanks for your support. We welcome you to join us over on Patreon. Couldn't do it without you guys. Look forward to your comments. Like, share, subscribe. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.